What's up, guys? Today we're going to be talking about just some Hoi 4 tips and tricks that you can use in multiplayer, single player, uh, whatever other game mode there are. These will help you get better at the game 100%. And just a lot of newer players probably don't know these tips. So, yeah. And now the first one has to do with your army. Now, as you see here, I have a front line. Everyone knows what that is. But if you didn't know, your divisions gain planning bonus the longer they're on a front line. But they have to be on this front line, right? So you can't just move like 5 divisions here and get planning bonus, right? They'll move around. Now there's actually a way. Oh, actually I forgot. What planning bonus is like whatever percent it is, it adds that much percent to your offense when you attack. So if it's 37%, you'll get 37 more percent. But your planning bonus does run out like 3% a day when you're in a battle. So you won't have it forever, but you might have it enough to win a battle. So it is very powerful. Um, but this is annoying, right? If I want to attack this tile, like all my divisions are gonna leave, and I only have this one division here. But there actually is a way to get around that. If you delete that, if you grab your general and put a garrison order on somewhere where you don't have military access, like let's say Saudi Arabia, and you go to your field marshal and you click and you shift click. Doesn't really matter for this example, but shift clicking is generally like the best when you create a field marshal frontline. Um, and you put a battle plan, you'll notice that the divisions are still gaining planning experience, but they're not attached to this front line. So you can move as much divisions as you want here and still gain planning bonus. And I mean, this is Spain, so the negative 90% modifiers there, but as you see in the battle, plus 28% attack. So if when that debuff's gone, I don't think any of the states got it gone yet, but you can see how 20% attack for a couple days would be useful. Let me just look at my Google Doc here for the next tip. Oh yeah, the next tip has to do with designing divisions, and I have seen people do this before. A lot of people do know, obviously know about this, but uh, if you're editing a division, right, if you want to make a 10 width infantry template, but still keep this one, like just have a different template that's smaller, you duplicate it, and you uh, you could just like remove all this stuff and just make a 10 with infantry, and that would cost 55 army XP. That's pretty expensive, right? But if you just go to the division designer, you click create empty, you can make that same template for like, I think it's 25 XP. Yeah, 25 XP. Now, I mean, that's not really a common scenario, turning this into a 10 with infantry, but like you can see how that would be useful, like just something to be mindful for if you're making like a tank division or something. Like if you already have like a 20 with tank template, it's like a light tank, and then like a 40th infantry, you should like check to see what would be more army XP, because sometimes that light tank might actually be cheaper, because each row making a new group costs 25. So if there's already a light tank in this row, then it gets rid of that 25 cost. It's already an armor group. Um, oh, another tip. I see a lot of players do this, and I don't really know why. But it's just something that you really shouldn't do. You don't need to do it. A lot of players at the start of the game, like you'll have mills on stuff that you don't really need, like light tanks. Like as Germany, in multiplayer at least, no one really makes light tanks. Like maybe for recon, but you don't need these light tanks. You get a lot from Czechoslovakia, and you can get Lend-Lease from whoever. I mean, everyone has light tanks. So you should delete this. Some people will just put it down to one, or just leave like the two factories on it, when you could put those two factories on guns or planes day one. That would be a lot more useful for you. As well, these tac bombers, they're not that great. I mean, you could produce them, but you should produce one or the other. You shouldn't produce both this and this. I don't know how good this plane is, to be honest, since the air DLC. But all right, it doesn't say the ground attack on it for some reason. Okay, 0, but 6. Okay, so this is probably not worth producing right now. Like I would probably delete this line and just keep producing these bombers, or delete the bombers and make fighters. That's like the third tip though. Just don't produce stuff that you don't really need. Uh, Now the fourth tip is to use hotkeys. A lot of people don't know basic hotkeys in Hoi 4, and they are really useful, especially like during a war. Like stuff happens fast, you know. So the first one has to do with your air. Now you can click this button, and it will split your selected wing. This is also a very useful button now since the new DLC, because it basically duplicates your air wings. So you see, it just turned into 100, and yeah, 4 groups of 100 instead of just like one group of 100. They'll fill up to 100. So if you have planes in stockpile and you need to deploy more, if you like veteran planes, for example, you can spread the veterans out. So instead of having one veteran stack and 3 rookies, you can have probably 4 regulars if you just split the veteran stack up. But yeah, this is pretty useful. This one here, and another one is clicking S, and that just selects half of what you're selecting. So you see, now I'm selecting 2, now 1, and that works for air, uh, ships. You can't really see it that well, but these ships are highlighted like this. No, it's not. And for army too. And for army, it's very useful. Like, say you're being attacked, and you have 7 divisions on this tile, and only 1 here. You can quickly go like that instead of going like that. You know, it just saves you a lot of time. And if you're playing multiplayer, especially uh, like the amount of hours it takes, it's pretty important that you click before your opponent, especially if you have infantry and they're attacking you with tanks. Another thing, the last this one's less of a shortcut, but just something that not everyone knows. Um, if you shift and left click, it makes, instead of making one in a state and having to click multiple times if you want to max it out, you can just shift click and it'll produce the max amount. Most people know about that, but just maybe a couple newer players, if they watch, they might not know that. And the last one has to do with Japan, actually. Uh, yeah, I'll just take Japan. Well, not specifically with Japan, but this example I'll be on Japan for. Um, Now, the AI is not really producing that great of ships right now, so it doesn't require a lot of steel. But in vanilla, you trade for 8 steel per civ. But if you have a puppet, you trade, I believe, I forget what it is. It's a ton for just one. Like it's like 50 or something, maybe 80, and you can just save yourself a lot of civs. Like not a lot of people know that. Um, Well, actually, sorry, plenty of people know that. Just people just might miss out or might not be mindful in the game. But if you have a puppet, definitely trade with them before anyone else because you can get stuff super cheap. Another thing, actually, if you're playing Japan, Japan starts day 1 with 2 factories buying oil from America. So get your 2 civs day 1 and stop that trade. Um, but yeah, basically that's all for this quick tutorial. I might make more videos like this. I don't know. Um, Oh, one last tip. If you're playing Germany or any country that requires manpower for focuses, spamming out 2 widths, this also helps for sending volunteers. Spamming out just like really empty divisions, like a 2 width, or just even divisions without equipment, will raise your manpower. You can send more volunteers and do focuses like Anschluss, like whenever you want. You can do Anschluss and by March if you wanted to. But yeah, basically that's it for the tutorial. If anyone watches, appreciate it. Thank you. Uh, like the video for sure, yeah. Um, and yeah, have a good day.